Welcome back to another quick review. Today is for a game that I have conflicting feelings about. This is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, a while back, and I still stand by this now, these Pyra and Mithra were my dream characters for Smash. And, like I said, I still stand with it. And back then, I didn't know I didn't know that I would grow to find things about the game that I didn't like. Because there's a lot of things about this game that I just don't like. This is going to be a somewhat negative quick review. I think it's a decent game overall, but if I compare it to something like Xenoblade 1, um, I think the worlds are drastically more beautiful and better organized and better built in this game than the previous game. I think that Pyra and Mithra's designs, as like the blade designs and Pyra and Mithra's designs, were better than most designs in Xenoblade 1. I think the music in this game overall is better. This game, I'll give it, has one of the greatest soundtracks in all of video games. It's so good. Then that's all I'll give it, because I think when it comes to the story, I think even the story has its issues for me. I just don't buy the fact that it, I I don't buy the fact that you have all these blades and all of this stuff going on, and then you just have regular people driving blades, and then Rex automatically becomes like the greatest driver in the world because he wields one sword that he barely even knows how to use. And he gets an end game. This you scale a giant tree in which, I mean, scaling a giant anything is kind of overused. I mean, I don't really want to say much of the story because it's been a while since I've played it. I don't want to get anything wrong, so I'm not going to say much about the story. What I will say is the combat is terrible. I think the combat in this game is ridiculous. I think that Xenoblade One's combat system was perfect, and while I haven't played X, I know everything that happens in X. I've seen walkthroughs and stuff like that. I haven't played X. I think that combat system does look a bit better. Xenoblade 2's combat system has the unfortunate circumstance of having too much. In that game, it was like Monolith Soft decided to put too much into it, because you have elemental orbs, blade combos, blades, and then you have like items that you could use outside of battle, and or in battle, and it was so in early game, because a lot of these features are locked. Battles felt like they went longer, and damage, and all the enemies were damage sponges. You couldn't get anything off of them. And even late in the game, if you could get off blade combos, yeah, battles went by quicker, but they were still sluggish. They still went on forever. Like you could have a blade combo going and hit, and you could do basically nothing, or you could have do some of your most powerful attacks and do absolutely nothing. It's ridiculous, and that's what was such a giant turnoff for this game for me, because it took forever to kill enemies. Like I'm fine with taking forever on bosses. It gives me time to strategize, because this is boss battle. That's what you're supposed to do, but not on random encounters in the world. No, that's not how that works. That's not how you should do things. That's why I'm very much excited for Xenoblade 3, because while they did return that ugly UI, A, they made it look better, and B, it actually, because of blade combos and blades and that not returning into the next game, I actually think that looking at that gameplay that came out recently, that game looks better. That game looks better when it comes to damage, and um, and that's why I'm so excited for that game. Because if it wasn't for the damage part, I probably wouldn't be as excited as I am. But because damage looks better and you have multiple ways to kill, it looks great. And my last complaint about this game is a complaint that everybody makes. It's the voice acting. The voice acting in this game is not good. I think overall it's just not good. I think Nia does a decent job. Nia's voice actress, Zeke and Tora's voice actors do decent jobs. Um, I think Sky Bennett as Pyra and does a pretty good job. But then you have, and the Morak does a pretty good job. But then you have Rex, and then every other character in the entire every other character just doesn't have good voice acting. And then, like I said, when I said like Nia and Zeke's VAs do a decent job, I say do a decent job. They don't do amazingly, and it's like some of the good talent in this game. Like you can hear it, and then instantly taken away by the fact that Rex is screaming at the top of his lungs. And then you have something like Xenoblade 1, which was made, what, 7 to 8 years prior. And you hear the voice acting for the English version of that game, and that sounded phenomenal. I think Adam Howden as Shulk did a phenomenal job in that role, especially compared. You put Shulk screaming and Rex screaming side by side, and there's a clear difference. The difference is night and day. And so that and that's one of the reasons why I don't like this game. So yeah, that's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's also the main reason why I'm probably not going to play Torna, even though I know Torna did improve on a lot of this stuff. I just can't be bothered to pay $40 for it for a game that I didn't I didn't come out liking in the as much as I thought I would. I think this game is very much overhyped in the Xenoblade community, and I think Xenoblade 1 is just a better game in every sense, in most senses, when it comes to comparing the two. So yeah, that's a quick review for Xenoblade 2. I give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. See ya.